And we are back with me.
I had to slide in.
This guy.
Just shut the hell up.
Really, we gotta be changing the names on the edit.
Alright, guys. Today we have a very exciting episode. No, all of us excited because I have proved my usefulness here, okay? I have proven it up. And your camera is switching. So right now we're going to try a new method to shoot a video, so let us know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm talking to our one homie that's watching.
It's just Johnson. Hi, Johnson.
Appreciate you, Johnson.
Thank
always
you for watching.
Always getting a shout out. Now, a few things we want to speak about. Right now I'm getting a very important message from a very important individual. Business moves.
Is it your girlfriend?
Business moves, dog. It's not.
Oh.
But it is something very important. So, today we're going to start this off. We're going to try to make this, our goal for this episode is we're going to try to be more precise and we're not going to randomly start talking about random stuff.
Our ADHD be crazy.
Yes. We want to make sure we actually do this properly. But again, that's the whole point of learning. We just want to keep advancing ourselves and sticking to commitment, which is why we're going to do this every week and not fail. Up to 50 episodes, and if we have 0 followers till then, you, I'm quitting. Alright?
It's your fucking fault.
I thought we had 2 subscribers.
Not you, Johnson.
Yeah, not you, Johnson.
Yeah, not Johnson.
But if we don't have 1 billion followers, I'm going to be triggered. Alright, now, so we'll start this episode off by saying huge turo, huge.
We always have huge news apparently about Turo right now because we're just growing right now.
We're growing, man, growing rapidly. I don't know about how many people you know who are buying we're getting 9 cars in 3 months.
Yeah.
I don't know about any of you guys.
Well, let's bring up one news at a time, so I'll keep you guys on fucking track, okay?
All right. So
one, we met somebody who works for Turo. All right. Go ahead, take it. So he had to talk with her because she actually took our car. I'm going to do the pretense. Okay. She actually booked our car. We did not know this, and we dropped it off to her. And then Rav was doing the drop off at the time, and so he found out some details extra, especially on the backside. And we will obviously want to have her for an interview if possible and things of that nature. So if we get her for an interview, great. If not, we have some good information for you guys today.
Also, just letting this out there, if any of you know anybody who is worth interviewing, please let us know because we're running out of conversation. I'm asking this
Johnson, I'll interview you because you're a first subscriber.
We'll be like, how does it feel to be the first?
No.
All right, so we met the lady, very kind lady. She was telling us that she was here on a Power Host event. Now, if you don't know, Turo has class systems, classist as fuck app, jokes. But the bottom tier, which is anybody who puts a car on there, that's just a Turo host. The second one, again, we're speaking to just Canada, and this might be in the USA, might be different. But the second tier you can get to is All-Star. All-Star is pretty much that you are doing business with Turo. You get a little bit more insights into it. You get a lot more opportunities, pretty much, to be able to make money on the app. And then the strongest.
And how do you hit it?
You need to hit a bunch of markers. You need to be finished at, I believe it's 10 trips. It's not hard. It's very easy actually, relatively. We finished it, but it took us 1 month to finish it. But we were 1 day late, pretty much, or 2 days late, because the way Turo does it is they do it quarterly. So if you fall in between the thing by that date, you're done.
When is the next quarter, Rav?
April 15th. So wait
until your boys are coming.
So in just a few short weeks, we will be all-star status, and then the one status above that is Power Host. Power Host is a lot more difficult to get. One of the biggest requirements is you need to hit $20,000 worth of revenue in a single calendar year. If you guys have known, we've already surpassed that multiple folds. However, we need to hit All-Star, and then we need to wait 1 year to be able to hit the Power Host. So it's going to take us some time, but it's going to definitely be worth it.
What are the benefits of a Power Host?
So there's a few benefits. Obviously, we're only talking from experience from talking to other Power Hosts, but a few things you get is they help you with windshield repairs plus tire repair. So they take out a little bit more of the maintenance problems with your vehicles because you're unused. You get a little bit more profit also, margin on your dedicated trips pretty much, and you're going to get a dedicated person who's just going to talk to you pretty much. So somebody who's dedicated for Power Host, which means that every time you call Turo right now, we're talking to some random person. But when we're on Power Host, we're dedicated to one person, which makes life a lot easier. All right? Anything to add that I have missed, Ish?
No. Do they promote you further if you're power host, or is it just the same Ulster hosting?
They do promote you further. For example, if anybody has any canceled trips, like last minute, like for example, if you're a host and you cancel on somebody last minute, Turo by themselves assigns other hosts to you who have a similar car, and they pretty much just Turo, whether they give them a discount or not, you still make your money at the end of the day, which is a huge plus because a lot of people do quit. Stuff comes up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So going forward with that, we're in the process of now adding on 2 more co-hosting cars. We literally did this deal on the way here.
Yeah, traffic was horrible.
I wonder why.
We ain't allowed to talk about it on here.
Yeah.
Some guy was trying to jump off the bridge.
Oh my god, dude, we said we weren't going to talk about
And
it.
that's the
I'm not
first
talking about it. I'm just giving the details.
Okay, yeah, they closed 2 of our main highways into downtown, and that just made traffic horrible because there's only 2 roads that are actually able to get in right now.
Pain. But during that call, we had a very productive meeting with one of a current Turo host, and we pretty much offered him. I don't want to go over the full details because I want to grow our platform with the thing that we're using.
Yeah.
And but to be fair, what we're doing is we're just offering the convenience of our service. Me and Ish and Ahmed are now trying to make this a full-fledged business, and we're not trying. Like we're already there. We were looking at some things today, looked amazing. I didn't grab his penis, I promise you.
You disgusting.
Sexual harassment in the workplace.
Allegedly, okay. Now we'll continue.
Yo, what's your wife's Facebook?
Okay.
Wait, you have a wife and a girlfriend now?
No.
She's about to get married, but I gotta stop this before it gets too far, for her sake.
Yeah, she's fine. Okay, she's chilling. But listen. On our side, everything is looking fantastic. We're growing very rapidly. Like I want to get to the point where I already know we're the number. I have no doubt in my mind that we're the number 1 fastest growing host. But I am trying to become the biggest host in the shortest amount of time. I'm a believer in conquering, and I'm here to conquer this fucking app.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do anything to do it.
Is this a personal thought, or has anyone told you who has seen real life status?
As speaking from thing, just like how the Turo guest who works for Turo had told us, she has never seen somebody who's grown a faster Turo account than us.
She's part of also the Toronto area.
Yeah,
so
and it's Toronto. Motherfuckers got money there.
Toronto's nice.
Toronto's a big area, so she has seen actually growth in general because even comparatively, we are growing a lot faster than most people who've been here a lot longer.
We're looking at people who opened accounts in 2018, and we have more cars than them. Because again, the whole premise of this building this to become a passive net worth is we're not making this passive. We're trying to make a full-fledged business. There's a very big difference, right? For the co-hosts that we're offering our convenience of our services to, they're getting the benefit of ease. Now they will make income without doing anything. But who is the person at the end of the day who's going to be making the most income? That's going to be the person actually doing the work. And we will get to the point where we want to hire employees, we want to do all that stuff. But right now, me and Ish are taking care of this single-handedly. And this guy has helped us more times than you could realize. And this is how we're going to do it. Also, great news with Ahmed, we're probably going to be getting 1 or 2 cars with this guy very soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So taking all this into context of how fast we're able to find her, and like, how hard would you think it is to convince somebody to give you a car? It is hard. It is hard. But we've built the trust. We have our Turo account has shown the progress that we've had. You can see the best thing. You know what my favorite thing is when you talk to somebody and you say you can look on our profile to see when we joined Turo.
Yeah. 3 months, we are ridiculous speeds.
We're almost at 4.
Almost at 4 months?
Technically.
Yeah, because me and Rav have not canceled a trip. Me and Rav, well, we've had to do one because we messed up. So this was our mess up. We didn't check. Here's the thing. We had some weird things where the app is a little funky on us and it just switches settings. So one of our car was unlimited distance for delivery and it was only for like, $30-40.
And somebody
booked it in Banff, which is say like 3 hours away. We would have had to drop off 3 hours and then come back.
And then pick it up 3 hours.
I was like,
so 12 hours for a trip. We couldn't do it, and it was also 1 day notice. So there was no way that this is possible, right? Obviously, that's a mistake that we're going to learn from. And now, the one thing I've noticed, Turo app is phenomenal. I can't, like, it's making us money. Like, what am I supposed to say negative against this guy? Or this entity, which is Turo. But, there's bugs in every system, and we had a bug. I'm very vividly remembering putting it to only 50 kilometers away. This was a mess up on something on Turo's side. No blame, Turo. I love you. Now, how much cars do you think we're going to average in this year with the speed that we are growing?
I think we'll hit a minimum of 20 to 30, right? Because here's the thing: once
As
we're
we were
really
speaking-
busy, because here's the thing: it's not just like Rav and me have other commitments. Ahmed as well. We're working. Ahmed doesn't have as much of a plot in it because he'll have cars. Once he has full cars, he's gonna get even more into it, and it's the excitement, right? Because he hasn't experienced the 4 a.m. drop-offs in the fucking dirt cold yet.
I experienced 7 a.m. drop-offs in the dirt cold.
4 a.m. is a different story, man.
For
How
some
is it?
reason, one of our old guests is messaging us. I think he
Oh.
wants to book a. I think he wants to book a trip or something like
What is
that.
that?
But he just said hello. But we will figure that portion out as well. But yeah, as we were mentioning with this business, we're trying to grow this we're trying to scale this as quick as possible, and we're investing everything into growth.
Yeah, and only thing I'll tell you is, as always, my same message: stay trustable, stick true. If you really want to get into it, go hard, and your first year might suck a little bit because you're not really getting anything out of it. That after that, you're definitely going to
Yeah,
make.
he's definitely trying to book again. So repeat customer. So he's talking about the 10, 15%.
I thought this was a fat guy. I would have been like, yo, man. Remember the other guy?
The crazy dude?
Crazy dude. He wasn't a crazy, he was just a
He was
scammer.
yeah, no
He was
doubt.
just a scam artist.
It's all
Yeah.
good. I've had that at work.
All right, so that's turo. Okay, what is our revenue looking like now?
So,
Oh,
yeah, I forgot the most important part, the money. So we have just crossed $38,000 for the year. Whew!
That's a big chunk. Like, that's actually...
I think 3 episodes ago we were just about to hit 30.
Yeah, we're getting there, and especially because 3 cars have not even been activated yet. Because 3 cars just got put on, and they're not even they're booked off to a certain date. So those are 2 of those are co-hosted, and one of them we're just waiting. So that's why it's taking us a little bit of time, right? So nothing to worry about. It's mainly just that April is the slowest month for us in Alberta, at least that I've seen. Right? Even-
But that's for everybody, right?
Yeah, that's for everybody. But again, not having super status probably hurts us a little more than not having super status. Because here's the thing: when you have your upper level statuses, you probably get more promos, so you probably get a little bit more bookings than we do. And I'm not saying we're worried about that or afraid of that. It's just it is a part of it, right? So it's probably the same thing for everyone, but we're definitely having a little bit less bookings April, and then starting May. Our revenue, we are not fully booked yet on any of those months, so we're definitely going to see more numbers, and we'll let you know. And I think by the end of the year, our goal is to hit 100,000+ revenue, right? And that is the goal to hit. And
120,000 is what I want.
120,000.
Balls.
So yeah.
Yeah, if Amin can get us 3 cars, okay?
I actually think we can
Or
probably get
you
2
people from Toronto doing those carjackings, okay? Bring them to Calgary, okay? Thank you, bye.
but I think we can...
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
There is no allegedly.
We
in
believe you're innocent.
that. Prove it to us. We'll check the bins.
I'm gonna go get my...
No, make sure the wins are good. Okay,
I'm
that's
gonna get my flipper tool later, but like not for that.
I don't know him.
You ask people to carjack.
You are the worst one if it ever happens, because this guy like announced it on fucking television.
All right, now let's get out of the Turo talk. Let's talk something more about business. Today we had some other information that we were going to be sharing.
Did we? Wait, car ride? Rav straight up forgot about it.
ADHD kicking in hard.
Wait. We're talking about what we talked about
This
in
will
the car.
this will be edited out.
No,
It's not.
It's not.
because
We're
how
raw
Rav
as hell.
wants it.
Well, let's talk about what is our at least future plan in the next 2 years. Because we want to get land, right? So what is going to be our future plan?
All right, so let me go over what I see R&I car rentals turning into, okay? So, listen here, all right?
Yeah.
Think about, close your eyes and imagine a beautiful vision, okay? Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
You shut up. I don't need to close my eyes.
All right, he can see the vision because he knows who he's dealing with, all right? Businessman.
Only Homer Simpsons can
The
do
business that we're going to be doing, all right? Listen. So, our idea is we're going to buy land and we're going to build a warehouse to store all of our cars. That's how we're going to solve our parking problem. Now, there's a lot of land near the airport that is for sale. Obviously, it's higher priced. Because, again, the financials looking very good with the business. And my existing business is already with real estate. I'm very confident we're going to be able to get it.
I kind of have an idea. What if we do the warehouse in the underground there, and then we build a hotel on top.
How would we heat the dream?
I have
rock out the capital for a hotel.
This guy, no car yet, loan, okay, shop.
That's how we finance it, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm in, can you approve us? If you get it approved, we'll do this right.
Alright, you got the good credit score for it, man. We checked. Alright, but the idea is we're going to build a big warehouse. And what we want to do is we want to lease out warehouse space to other Turo hosts. The biggest problem with all Turo hosts, yeah, with anything.
Everyone's welcome.
Basically, anyone who wants to rent.
But the biggest problem with Turo hosts is where do you park these cars? That's the most common question. We had the same question. We are just lucky that I got a big driveway and that Ish got a lot of space near his house. That's the reason we are lucky. And we also have that one park where drug use may be. So we're not going to trust that just yet. But if we build a warehouse, we can rent it out to Turo hosts for cheaper than what they're paying currently. And a lot of Turo hosts, you got to imagine, if you have 30 cars, you need a place to park them. I can promise you one thing. No goddamn person in Calgary has a warehouse to put your stuff in.
Yeah, I don't need an indoor warehouse. I just want a fenced area, and then I want a car wash at the front. So our plan is also to have a car wash. Reason is car wash is a pure service for everyone. I've seen. Here's the thing. We never imagined it'd be like this until we actually started cleaning cars, even in the coldest weather. You go to a car wash, that's 24 hours, and you're like, why is this shit so packed? At the middle of the night, packed. It's cold.
We've been there at 12 a.m., we've been there at 4, we've been there at 5. Yeah. It is packed.
I understand a hot country, but in the cold, I'm talking snow everywhere. It's not really, nobody's going to see your dirt car if it's dirty.
And yeah, so
it's not even heated up.
And so again, our final goal is to use the Turo business to focus more into all auto basis of anything in a car. Cleaning cars, we might have if we can again buy a big large enough space, we might build a bay there where there might be mechanics that work there. But we are talking about a big goal. But remember what we said in our previous episodes: without big ambition, you're not going to accomplish any success. And we want to accomplish the biggest. I told Ish beginning of this. 12 cars. He looked at me like I was a psychotic. Now this guy is like, we're at 12 cars pretty easily at this point.
Yeah, I didn't look at him like he's a psychotic.
He knew what I was capable of.
I just look at him because his face looks like that.
So, yeah, so again, big ambitions equal big results, right? And you gotta jump for it. So our goal with this Turbo is not just going to be focusing on just the car aspect. There's so many different aspects we can work on. And I think we can truly do something phenomenal. And even if it's just for another idea I just have off the top of my head is if we have a mechanic shop dedicated for Turo hosts. If you need quick repairs, you need something, you need quick and fast, you know what you need, we can do that. We can apply the services. But the car wash is the biggest thing right now we want to focus on too. If we're able to, and we looked at even buying a car wash, but the financials did not make sense because they were asking way too much for what they were offering.
And guys, here's a really great stat for you. I read this. Millennials are buying less cars because obviously the cost of cars is going up and cost of assets in general is going up. So in general, right, so if you have a fleet now is a good time to have that fleet. Because in Canada, the average cost of everything from land to, especially in any of the major cities, is pretty crazy. Even the towns surrounding the major cities is crazy. So you want to get your assets now, but like I said, number one reason why we have this is because of trust. Right, I know he isn't gonna fuck me over. I know he knows I'm not gonna fuck him over. Because reason is, reason is I know where he lives, so we can burn his house down. That's
trust is big.
That's a part of the trust. Okay, kerosene and some fire.
I was actually you know Alex Hormozy, right? So I was listening to Alex Hormozy and his failed business relationships, and it's always because he said both people offer the exact same thing to the business. And that, if you both offer the exact same thing, one of you doesn't need to be there. There's a lot of different things that Ish does that I can't do. Ish, my favorite thing about Ish, that I did not know before starting this podcast, I thought Ish was a very smart man. When I met him at GNC, I'm like, holy shit, how does this guy have so much knowledge about supplementation and nutrition, right? But when I started doing this business with him, I realized Ish reads the same books as I do. Ish understands the same concepts that I do. That stuff I did not realize that Ish was into.
I'll say one thing, like I'm into a lot of philosophy books as well and other things where Rav on more than any even older people to younger people I've seen, his financial knowledge is unreal. His financial knowledge, if you actually listen to him, he actually has a lot of good tips. He knows all this backgrounds, things happening. He knows how to play around with finances.
If this business fails,
no, it's very good.
It's not going to turn good. No, I'm joking.
No. Yeah, shit happens, and if shit happens...
It's not. We're going to find a way through. Conquer everything.
Yeah.
But
Toronto.
But like the number one thing, like again, Ish is being super kind here. But the thing that I found the most with Ish is he is reliable as hell. Whether working a job, whether studying, whether doing whatever the hell he is, if we got to wake up at 4 a.m., I can trust this guy to be reliable. I don't need to be worried like, oh my god, this guy gonna wake up in the morning. Is he gonna flip flop? He might get late sometimes, but you know, this guy actually is going to wake up. He's gonna go do it.
I'm on time, brown time.
But there's no messing around. I know that I can count on this guy. If I'm gonna be out of the country, I know that I can count on this guy to continue the growth, right? By the way, this would be a good time to tell you gotta do it from home. I'm joking. So yeah, enough about yeah.
Yo, excuse me, I don't even have a car yet.
So yeah, we've also saw a few other co-hosts that also have the same, like not co-hosts, sorry, like we saw this one guy on YouTube, and I'd love to get him on. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm gonna find him. But the reason why he is very impactful is he actually has the same warehouse. This guy has 5 Lamborghini Huracans, dog.
Yeah.
This guy got one for every work day of the week right now, dog.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Him and me want to be best friends right now. Okay, Huracans. Actually, you know what? Weirdly enough, 7-seater big ass Yukons and Cadillacs.
We're looking into Cadillacs, and so this guy, his business is You Can Rent Me.
I rather look at Range Rovers.
Yeah, so it's
they're not 8-seaters.
it's called You Can Rent Me on YouTube, and
that's worse.
this guy got a deadly beard, by the way, but that's the first thing I noticed. But the guy is extraordinarily smart with how he does it, and he created a business that sometimes is $500,000 in revenue in a single day. Sorry, not a single day, a single month. That's absolutely crazy.
500,000?
Yeah, in a month.
A month.
So he's doing high value cars is what he's renting.
No. He has a lot of Fiats. Remember? But
he's in a place where Fiats are
yeah, they do good.
Yo,
heat. It's such a good place because of heat.
And so the thing is with the sorry, I'll let you speak in just 1 second, just so I don't lose this off the top of my head. But what he does is he was talking about high value cars utilization versus low value cars. So he was talking about his Fiats. Fiat 500, small ass car. Holy shit! I look at that and I want to puke. I'm not driving that, but he has a bunch of them, and he says they rent out phenomenal. Their utilization rate is 80%. But he says his Huracans, the 911s, all the really fancy cars, their utilization is 20%. Low as hell, but they make a lot of money. He was talking about one of his Huracans make $25,000 a month. I'm like, listen, that's time. I'm like, amazing. That's like, what are you supposed to say to that? That sounds phenomenal. It's probably like half a year's worth of payments for a Lamborghini. If you do it in 1 month, if you do it in 2 months, phenomenal. And again, remember, one of our goals is for the end of this year is to have a supercar. And I think we're getting closer and closer to it. And whether that's co-hosting a supercar or we buy one, I think we will get there.
Yeah, and a big part of that is, from what we understood, is if once you become a power host, you get access to a lot more information in your area about what is going on with renting and what vehicles are being rented. So this is just what we heard from somebody who works at Turo, right? So power hosts get a lot more detailed information into our stats, because that's the hard part right now that we were thinking of. We're like, how do we see stats that are available in our area? We don't have any yet, right? And sooner or later we might even branch out to other places with busier areas. Let's say the U.S., because U.S. market I can see is still doing very phenomenal in the heater areas, right? But in Canada's only 3, right? So if you're Canadian, you want to invest into these 3 areas. We were talking to a gentleman obviously in Edmonton that we told Amin about too. His rental utilization is nothing. Low. He has great cars, but I'm like, they're not even. What it is the 3: Toronto, Vancouver, and then Calgary. Those 3 are it, and those are the biggest in Canada. That's what you want to utilize. But we saw his and what he messaged us to co-host, and I think his stuff makes sense. Even if we're giving him our co-host rate, so he has nothing on top of his head, he makes way more money from us while having those cars and keeping them over there in Edmonton. And over there in Edmonton, where he's keeping it, it's a waste of his vehicles and his money.
95% of our trips are to Banff. That's it.
His stuff is not being utilized. We take care of all our customers. We're being honest with their stuff. We're offering them things as Banff passes and other details like that, right? So everything like that. And as I said, right, we started with a phenomenal car, Volkswagen. But that car is much higher luxury than what people would think it is, right? Like it drives super well. It's great. But what we found is, if it's just like how he does a Fiat, we want cars for volume that we can utilize year round, and people utilize it year round. Even in the worst weather, Venue was being rented.
Yes, and the other thing is the more stats I look into, like if you want to hire an employee, right? Let's say me and Ish want to get out of this and just get it all taken care of by employees. Then you got to understand how much is that per car. So if it's, for example, it's costing us $200 for per car because we have hired an employee, we have to make sure we make up that cost.
Yeah, so we have to make more than 200 for sure.
Exactly, per car. And you got to factor in rent costs if you're parking your car somewhere. You got to factor in cleaning costs. You got to factor in damage costs and everything, right? Something should be dollar per value per car, and you got to make sure that aligns with the value and you're making income on top of that to support yourself and support the business. The only way to do that, from what I've seen, is having a big enough scale. Because you got to think, if you have 10 cars and it costs you $100 each because the employee, so $100 each, right?
Yeah.
But now you have 20 cars, it costs you $50 per car for the same employee. So the larger vehicle option you can have, the more it makes sense to get employees. And obviously it doesn't that's like very clear numbers right there. So obviously there's going to be differences. But that's one way to think about it, how I'm thinking about it with our fleet. Now I think we've got on Turo. Do you have any other comments to add on, Dirt?
It was actually on the Fiat one way back.
Yes, I remember that.
Apparently Fiat is coming back to North America with the 500e. And I'm actually very excited about that because the Fiat 500 was one of my favorite little cars. It's super cool, especially the Arbath edition. Like, it's so quick, it's a little sleek little thing.
I don't like it, man. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Dude,
but if it rents for good,
if you drive an Arbath edition, you'd be like, okay, I like this. This is fun.
I'm a car guy, but I'm not that much a car guy. I have no idea what he just said. But I believe in being a car guy.
I only say that with her.
All right. So enough about Turo talk for today. Turo talk for today. I said Turo
cock. Yeah. Turo ruined cocks, man.
You gotta bleep the hell out of it. All right.
That's not a bad word, though.
All right, men's health next, okay?
Is it because the dude is on top of the bridge?
Yes, he slowed down a lot of people today, okay? Okay, joking aside, men's health, very important, okay? Well, health in general, right?
Hold on, let's slide out.
A lot of people...
Stop, shut up.
What happened? Yo. So we're going to be speaking about a real estate segment now. Talking about pretty much Trudeau released a Bill of Rights in Canada for tenants. And...
Ish. Pay attention. We are back on the air.
All right. But going into more details, it's not passed yet. It's something that's being proposed. But pretty much what it is it allows you to be able to, pretty much the basis of this is you're going to have a universal tenancy agreement that everybody must follow. Not bad stuff. Again, it's just stuff that we can definitely use. And then the other stuff they want to add on is this is the biggest thing. You want people to, what will this cost? I'm trying to think of the best way to say it, but pretty much right now, on your credit score, rent does not count. Only mortgages count, correct?
Of course. It's because rent most of the time is a cash free.
Which is false. I'll get into that as well, but we'll speak not on the cash part, but that's a lot, but on the, if it does count on your credit score or not. But so what he wants to do is he wants to make it acceptable that he's trying to look for a better camera, by the way. Don't mind this guy.
It's because we only have one camera right now.
I think it was.
I want one that's because it's a 3D version.
All right,
we'll talk about it.
If
it improves, it'll happen. If it costs too much, it won't. Okay?
Or you could go fund us.
I'm actually due for a new camera, so if you want to fund me, I would love a new camera.
No, do not fund him. Okay.
Hey, I'm the camera dude.
He'll spend it all on coffees, and it'll be broke again.
Okay.
Hey, I'll spend it on cameras and coffees.
So all right.
See, there you go. You heard it here first.
All right. So okay. So I want to speaking about this bill pretty much. So right now, credit does not show credit. Your credit score does not show rent payments, right? There is a few ways you can, but at the moment, on majority of the side, it does not. What Trudeau is trying to do is he's trying for everybody to be able to showcase on their credit score that, hey, I'm paying rent. So, for example, one of the biggest problems in Canada is that people are paying extraordinary amounts of rent, and even a mortgage sometimes is cheaper, but they don't qualify for a traditional mortgage, right? So the only options are private lenders or B lenders, which B lenders I love, by the way. Love you, B lenders. But they can't finance to RBC or TD, pretty much main banks, right? So adding people's rental income, the amount they're paying, and their payment history to your credit score is a very good secondary look onto it to be able to see that, hey, this person pays rent for an A lender, correct? And I'll tell you why that's a little bit of bullshit. Do like a quack sound. I want to hear a quack sound. Bullshit. All right? So currently, listen, so the bill is not a bad idea. I think definitely we need more tenant and landlord deals. Like we need way more laws. Like there's keys for cash right now in Toronto. I think stupidest thing. Some people ask for $100,000 to leave your own house. It's stupid. Yeah. But if you go to your mortgage broker today, right, and you tell her that, hey, I don't qualify for this, you know what they can ask the lender? Hey, will you look at their rental income to showcase they've been paying rent to the landlord? They already do it. When I was qualified for my first house, or my second house, my apologies, guess what? They used the rental income I was making, but also rental income that I've been paying to my parents to live in their house, so that they showed that on my pretty much on my credit score. And lenders take that. Lenders also take, guess what? Utility bills. Make sure you're paying your utilities on time if they're under your name. Phone bills. That's also another thing, because all these are forms of payments you're paying monthly. All of this stuff is already stuff they do. So this is nothing new. So this pretty much, I think it's in the right direction, but I think what he did was very wrong. Now, it is very good to make it mandatory on everybody.
Now, okay, so tell me, what is the good part of that?
So here's the good part that I see. Now, this is how
for both the tenant and the landlord.
I'm going to explain my reasoning on everything. So the reason why I said this was good, and here's what. What's the biggest problem in Toronto real estate market right now? People are backed up for 2 years if you have a tenancy agreement, because you have to go to the court, correct?
Yes.
So for 2 years, somebody could not feasibly pay rent. That's one thing. And sometimes tenants are in the wrong because they're abusing the situation, right? Sometimes landlords are in the wrong. Do you know what this does? If it shows that you made your payments, will it also show that you didn't make your payments?
Oh. That could be...
So a lot of people will rent out to certain people.
Exactly. So if on your credit score, it reports when you made your payment, what happens when you don't make your payment? And the landlord reports that you haven't made your payment. Is it going to drop your credit score? Because that's what I want to see. That's going to very much discourage people from abusing the system and trying to live in a place for free.
That's fair, but also, I don't know, it kind of makes me think of a social credit system at the same time.
Yeah, actually, I saw a lot of comments like that as well and stuff. But speaking of it, I'm just talking about right now, benefit for the landlord.
We're already going there. Social credit.
So that's a conversation we'll speak on, but we'll speak just on this bill for now. So this bill will effectively help a lot more people, or a lot more landlords who are having trouble with troublesome tenants, because those tenants know that if you abuse the system like this, there will be consequences, and you will never probably be able to qualify for a mortgage. Think of it like this. You know, any dings against your credit, like you haven't paid your credit back, is a very bad hit. Now, if you haven't paid rent in 6 months, and it's on your credit report, I'm sorry to say, once you do get kicked out, and whether they get kicked out or not, whether it's 2 years or they fix that problem, you're probably not going to be able to find another landlord to rent a place to. And you're probably not going to be able to qualify for a mortgage either.
And is that the negative?
Now, that's a negative for a tenant. The tenancy part is, if you're paying rent, you're doing everything right, and your landlord randomly jumps up the price like by $3,000.
Yeah. Which
does happen in some places, because some landlords are stupid and they don't understand the concept of continuously raising rent as the market increases, not just one. If you're paying $1,000 and you're always paying $1,000 and you're used to paying $1,000, and I don't tell you I feel like I don't give you heads up, and I'm like, hey, $3,000 next month. You are not prepared for it. You financially cannot do it. Most people. Now, again, it's somebody's house, right? So I believe the landlord and tenant, there's problems on both ends right now. There's problems on big both ends, right? Now, but I think this is generally in the right direction. Now, again, I don't think that showing on your credit that if you're paying is a bad thing, because now, again, if you don't pay, and again, we don't know if this is facts or not. I don't know if they're going to be able to show if you're not paying, right? Mm-hmm. But if you can, it's phenomenal in both ways. What do you think about that?
I think it's good and bad, because again, that's pretty much what is in reality is becoming a social credit system.
One other thing I want to mention is in Toronto, they started a website where they list names and pictures of bad tenants.
Yeah.
And a lot of tenants are leaving their places without the keys for cash because they know their next tenancy is going to be messed up if the person doesn't remove it. That's one thing. Now again, that can also abuse the system, because if you just don't like somebody and you put it on there saying they don't pay rent, it gives them problems, right?
You think, see, here's my thing. The problem is, I think it's too easy to abuse the law now. So what it is with car theft, with everything, nobody's taking action, and you're powerless as a homeowner, right? So what are happening with these squatters and things, and let's say car theft? If you can be charged more than the person actually committing the crime, it takes the power away from you as an individual.
It tells people to commit the crime.
And if a lot of people can get away with doing bad things like renting a house, so instead of having a social credit system, they need to really toughen up on these types of crimes as quickly as possible. So if they're actioned fast and they're actually given power to fix it quickly, that way people are afraid to do it. Like, okay, I'm not taking this is not like the proper example, but let's say Saudi countries or somewhere where they have like very high end, but what it is when somebody commits a crime, they action it quickly. I'm not saying we need to go to that, and do not get that wrong.
No execution here.
No, none of that shit. I don't need you to chop off any
But
parts.
if you are stealing cars...
Yeah, if you steal it once and you're in a tough time and like you're a kid, I understand some things might. But if you don't improve and you do it again, I definitely think that you're never going to understand because your mind, like your system is made into that.
Like
way.
right now, I stole Ahmed's keys and I stole his car, and I'm gonna jack that shit after this. Okay, so.
Yeah.
But
his
like,
car was not valid, so that's why he gave it back to him.
People of age who are stealing cars or who generally have the idea, I have no sympathy for this person. You're stealing something that belongs to somebody else.
Yeah.
And,
theft is, see, I can forgive food theft.
Yes, I 100%.
Anytime you're like warm, you're like, I need a blanket, you're stealing something. We saw some guy stealing in London drugs.
Oh,
this man was more dripped out than like 90% of people we see.
He's walking out with the
cleanest Timberlands. He had pair of True Religions. He had a nice jacket.
I don't even know what that is.
Branded.
That's how you know it's high end.
Branded jacket. Like I think it was Chanel or like
Louis
Vuitton.
It wasn't Chanel.
No, it was like Louis Vuitton jacket. Something very very nice. It was a very good jacket. Good shirt. Clean, and I mean clean. This guy just casually walks in and he just robbing the place, head down, walked out. This is not high speed. This is like, just head down. What's this?
No.
We're not making fun of disabilities, by the way.
He isn't disabled. He just
on drugs.
He was just on something. But what it is the individual as like you, the citizen, doesn't have power because if you attacked him, you know you could go to jail. So you're more afraid to take action to clean up your own society, and that's where countries lose their power and their passion. In India or anywhere, like we have passion, so if you believe in your country, you protect it from individuals who are going to do wrong things, and that's where Canada's losing its marker for, because the good citizen wants to stand up for their people, their neighbors, and generally whoever's around them, because we want to protect each, because good people generally want to, like you see a crime on the street or somebody being abused, you're like, hey man, stop that. You want to stop something, or you want to fight for the good people, or you want to fight for your good country.
But if you encourage
behavior, and if you're encouraging bad behavior by punishing the good people, then the good people can't take action, and then your cities and your towns and your country goes down the drain because you lose passion for what you can't defend.
Have you guys ever heard of the Good Samaritan Act? Like in I used to be a lifeguard
in the States. They started it. Yeah,
and I used to be a lifeguard, and one of the biggest problems that we were learning in lifeguard was not actually saving people, but it's making sure that you can actually save somebody and that you're not going to be charged. There was that story of somebody who saved a drowning woman. Do you know what she did? She sued his ass.
Yeah.
But luckily, the judge is not a dumbass, and the judge threw out the case. But you still have to pay legal fees. You still have to do a bunch of stuff. So, if I'm a person who wants to save somebody from drowning, and there's a chance that person can go back and just sue me. And now, again, they can't because they put bills against it. So if you're doing something and you're trying to do the right thing, even if something goes wrong, you can't be charged for it. But it's different when it comes to people robbing cars. It's different when it comes to people just stealing shit for no reason.
Yeah, because the biggest stat that I know of around the world is 1% of people, those 1% that are the maximum criminal, commit 60% of those crimes. Those reoccurring crimes is by 1%.
And you know people with flippers or with any of those stuff. Like, you've done this before.
And if you can get away and you know you're going to get it out easy, there's a reason nobody does it in Saudi countries and nobody does it in countries where the law is strict. Because if the citizen can actually take control and be like, hey man, what the fuck are you doing? You stand up, like, this is my country, do not abuse these people, or you see somebody robbing something that's not theirs, or people, I'm not talking food or anything, I'm sympathizing with anybody who's hungry on the street and needs food or needs shelter, right, or needs clothes. That's different, right? But if you're already having everything you need and you're even better than a lot of people and you're stealing it because you can, right? You're not stealing anything of necessity. Right, that is a very different story than you just abusing the system because the system lets you abuse it.
You remember that video? I don't remember where it was. I think it was in the USA, but there was those two 7-Eleven workers, and they beat the shit out of that one guy who just had a garbage can.
That was the second or third time coming back in, and thing is, they're like it eternally, like, even if I was working there, I'd be pissed off because I'd be like, my morals are as a person
This
of
guy
morals.
comes in with a garbage can and just starts putting things aside.
Dog.
He knows what
Have
he's
you seen
doing.
it?
The guy,
Smokes.
they beat him with the broom.
He smoked.
No, it was just smokes. He was taking smokes to sell, so he just brought a garbage and he just put. And they beat him, and then what happened was those guys, I think, got maybe deported or went to jail.
I don't remember. We don't know what happened afterwards. But I think, but what they did was definitely.
And then they robbed people robbed that 7-Eleven, being like, oh, it's a hate crime. I'm like, no, he was a criminal, literally, that these people... It hurts your morals, because you're like, I can't morally let somebody steal my shit again and again.
Yeah, man.
While this guy just slowly comes behind you like this and, like, taking
And he was
it.
slowly, it wasn't all put in my pockets,
Run
run.
off camera.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. I'm just making sense, because, like, it's like, I would be close to him, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, go about your thing,
You
man.
know,
I'm gonna do my thing. And he can't stop me. It would piss him off, because he's morally like, what the fuck?
I'm going to bring up a very good, bad example, okay? So, first of all, also, let's just say 7-Eleven, it's a convenience store. Somebody else owns it, right? Now, whether that person's making money or not making money, you're stealing from somebody. Somebody's livelihood is right there, right? Whether it's the employees, whether it's the owner. But here's one thing I'm going to say. Something very bad happened this week, and that was a terrorist attack in Russia. You guys saw that?
Yeah.
I don't want to see the details.
Yeah.
I know what happened. Yeah.
Okay, but so regardless of whatever you think, Connie, there's only really no killing is good killing. Did you see those guys afterwards?
Yeah.
Guy's ears off, guy's in a coma, guy's fucking balls got fucking zapped. I'm gonna tell you one thing. If I'm a terrorist, I'm not going to Russia. So if they catch me, they're gonna tease your fucking balls.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I mean. Because the citizen have passion. They're like, what did you guys?
But not
did this
even
to our
the
people.
citizen. The government like I'm just saying this general. I don't like Russia. Like they kill people. I'm not hating Russia. I don't like Putin. I don't hate Putin. Like whatever I'm not saying anything about anybody.
I was in the middle.
But not even in the middle. I'm not saying my opinion, right? All I'm saying is, if I was a terrorist and I'm gonna go terrorize a country, and I can be put into an American system where I'm not going to get beat by the cops. Now, again, if the cops beat me up. Or I'm going to get my ear cut off by fucking workers of the Russian government. Do you think I'm going to go to fucking Russia to commit a terror act? No, I'm not. And that's an extreme example, right? Extreme.
Yeah, it's the same thing like Saudi we're talking about. It's because what it is if you're a criminal and you committed a heinous crime and you're charged for it, you're not going to be given a way out. Nobody's going to come and do it in your place because they know that if they ever get caught, they're going to be.
You think
destroyed.
these people who are stealing cars from Toronto are going to go do it in Saudi Arabia?
Canada,
they are not.
Canada, you can rob something for $100, $200. The cop will just talk to you and let you go.
It's over 1,000.
Yeah,
something
look
like
at
that.
that. So you can take something that much. And people are not robbing food if that's what you're thinking.
They are robbing.
Most of the time, what we're seeing is people go rob a bike, a nice place like in a store. They go rob something fancy to sell. They're not robbing things to like.
And again,
that
these people aren't selling for food. Like there's just people who are on drugs or people who just know they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Me and Ish are joking, and Amna joking about stealing cars.
Yeah, we are.
We're not going to. But man, if like it makes me think like, yo, are we just missing out?
No, honestly, I get so because I work not far from here in downtown.
You probably see a lot of people stealing shit
every day. I'm like just like sitting there like I have to stay right
and
here.
this is not clothes you need because you don't have clothes.
Because I have high end clothes. I work for a high end company. I'm not allowed to say which company, but the thing is, every day I have someone come into my area, and every day I go a little bit hungry because I'm afraid to leave my space at work because someone might try to rob my shit, and I'm just like, please, just leave me alone. And I feel at this point, because of the nature of my company, when I finally do go on a break, because I feel like it's safe, I let my guards know, and I let my team know, like the other people around, that I'm going on break. But
it's just like this is just again, stealing is rampant, and it's not stealing for good, right?
2 or 3 times I went, I came back and they said we stopped someone or they got away, and I'm just like.
Do you know businesses flourish? Businesses flourish when crime goes down. That's one of the biggest stats. Also, that is there, right? And like I said, 1% of the population commits 60% of the crimes. They repeat. And do you see them repeat as people, or is it just different ones?
I have 3 regulars that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I do have 3 regulars. And one lady who claims to own the building I work out of.
I want to show you guys something. Just something I saw yesterday that really pissed me off.
Okay. But so one.
I'll show you guys the greatest video too. But this is a funny video.
I can't actually. I'll pop it up later if you send me the download of the video.
I'm not gonna download this because I don't want to show it, but I want to show something that's.
Apparently, your basically just gonna get our description of whatever the hell Rap gives us.
All right. I want you to see this, and I want you to think about what you think about this. Just read it, and here, I'll get Ish to read it. Ish, read what's about to happen.
All right, so
This is who's posting this?
The
Calgary Police is posting this. So there's a high-risk offender. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not going to say the name or anything like that. And was released on yesterday.
Okay. What did he do? What did he do?
He's in our area.
Served
What-
5-year sentence for possession of child
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Don't say
Yeah,
it.
graphy, and then failure to comply with probation.
Okay, and
Prohibition order.
continue. And they released
Previous, and he has previous convictions of sexual interference, luring child under 18, luring a child under 16, access to the incident, indecent exposure to a person under 16, and possession of obviously the child.
So I'm going to say this because there's more. I'm going to just say this onto whoever this piece of shit is. They posting this because they don't think, oh, this guy is good to go on with his life. They're posting this because there's a high likelihood 1% equals 60% of the crime.
When somebody, he's done it so many
He's
done it multiple times.
37 years old.
He's done it multiple times, and he's going to repeat do it.
And so when did they release him? 27. Just yesterday. So 5-year sentence. I don't want him near my kids. I don't have kids. I don't want him near you.
I don't want to hear anybody's kids.
Nobody.
That's what it is.
Nowhere near my fucking
But
accidents.
here's the thing: when there's an offender, the repeat is very easy to happen because he's a repeat offender.
It says on there that he failed to apply with his probation and he did it again.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. You don't give people like that around society because that makes everyone normally scared, like you as a citizen, for your kids. And then those kids grew up being coddled or being afraid of the world when they shouldn't be. Because Canada's originally very safe, don't get me wrong in that round. But if something like this happens and you know it's in the back of your head, you're more scared of the trustable good people around your city or around your country, right? That's where you lose the trust in your citizen, and then you lose the value of the country. That's my big issue.
Again, we're not saying any political side. We're not saying whatever. I'm just saying I'm asking you to do this as a human. Again, I like where the podcast is going. I really like speaking about stuff like this.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, fuck you.
Yeah.
Except for you, Johnson, I love you.
Oh my god.
But like this, like come on, man. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that. Hey, maybe we should not let somebody out who's harming our kids.
That's a downfall of society because when good people can't take care of themselves or take care of the people around you, you just have a downfall of society.
And I want to see something. How would this guy last in Saudi Arabia?
They cut.
Engine, bro. So why the hell is he back on our streets, man? 5 years is not enough for a guy trying to lure kids. Like,
And if he's done it multiple times too, right?
It's not, yeah, man.
At this point, they're just waiting for him to reoffend so they can put him back in again. Right?
For another 5 years.
For another 5 years.
Or he just on probation again.
Yeah, or nobody can, it's not like the cops would be.
And again,
able
I don't know
to
anything
use
about
him.
his thing. I'm just looking at this as just a concerned citizen. Very concerned citizen. Because...
And citizen, that doesn't have any power anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because as a citizen, we can't go and be like, yo, man, let him know, face front. Because obviously, there's certain things that we can get more destroyed for than he will. That's the crazy part about it, right? You can't, as a concerned citizen, be like, we're watching you.
Yeah, again,
be careful.
why are they posting it? If it's all good and bad, if it's all good and done, why would they post it? They're posting it because they realize that it's not a good idea to let somebody like this back on our streets.
But they have to. For
bullshit.
Some bullshit reason.
Yeah, the laws are too soft right now. Like the same with car crimes, like those car theft crimes.
Remember what the police commissioner in Toronto said? Leave your keys in the front portion of your house.
Don't leave them in the front portion.
No, he said to leave it because he said they all want to come in just for your car.
Yeah, because people are breaking into people's houses in groups, and I'm like, if you can't defend your house. If nobody's coming into my house and trying that shit. I don't care if I'm
a car. I don't care if I'm in your face.
It's not about the car. I don't care if you're coming into my house. That's my place of where my family is. So one, you're gonna beat me up, but even if there's 6 of you, but I'm gonna take at least 2 to 3.
Ish has a pretty good story actually about this because one of your 5 a.m. This is probably the funniest story ever. 5 a.m. You go to push the start button and some dude rings your ring bell. Shout out to Ring because.
Remember I called you this one time? So I was about to do
It was a Turo thing.
I was about to do a car drop off, and this was a cold day, okay? And I'm just looking now, I started my car, so I'm waiting for it to warm up. This is minus 30, and it's shitty outside. And this guy's walking. Again, it could have just been a normal person who needed some help, right? But either that person didn't know how to talk or could explain himself, because he went. I think he was trying to go to someone else's house first, and then my light was on because I was getting ready to go out.
Oh yeah, this was
guy,
4 a.m. right?
Yeah, this guy walks up to my house, and I'm looking out the window. Right, he walks and he just straight looks at me. Through like I have a glass door, like so there's a glass and then obviously on the door, right? He's looking at me. I'm like, hi. I'm like, can I help you? He's like, you can open the door. I'm like, no. I'm like, it's 6 fucking a.m. He's like, why? I'm like, I don't know you.
He wanted to be friends, dog. So
I asked him, I'm like, can I help you? And he didn't say anything else. So it's not like he's telling me he needs some kind of help or something. Or I'm like, yo, you're in a hoodie. It's not like, this is not business hours where I'm like, you're coming to my house to do some kind of like service, or you're trying to, tell me about God or some shit. I'm like, man, 5 a.m. right now. I don't want to hear whatever shit you got to say. If you need help, tell me what you need. And if you don't need help, do not walk into my house and be like, are you going to open your door? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Okay? People communicate, okay? Please.
Oh yeah, and I'll go my way. And while I was there, the guy was completely gone, right? He wasn't somebody who needed help.
No,
he wanted to do some shit.
It was cold. Like it's like that's the weirdest thing I ever heard. I was like, what do you want, man?
Yo, you're not kind, dog. You should open the door, offered him his bed. But yo, I'll sleep as long as you need, dog. Take the food on my. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying I don't know if he would have been or not because he didn't seem like he wanted to. He was a single older dude, like could have whooped his ass for all I know, but. In general, I'm just saying, like, if I can't defend my house and I get charged for it, then that takes the power away from the citizen, right? Mm-hmm. Anyone who comes to my house, like my parents are there and they're let's say they're unabled or not, unable-bodied. I want to fuck somebody up.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, I want to protect my house. I want to protect my neighbors because I have some elderly neighbors. I want to protect my community. And if I don't have the power to do that, I lose belief in the system. And once you lose belief in the system, and then you lose belief in the government. And then you lose belief in your country. Because as soon as you're like, hey, you're punishing me for taking care of my people and being a good citizen, you then do not believe in your country anymore. You want to leave. Yeah. That's just a general overflow of things, right?
I agree. Actually, there's so the RCMP released a statement on Twitter a little while ago. Me and I were talking about it on the way to pick up you from the supplement store for some odd reason.
Train GNC dog.
We ain't talking about that. Anyways, the RCMP thinks that there is a big destabilization thing happening soon because young people can't afford homes. So we as people, they believe, are losing faith in our system as Canadians.
It is. Well, one, I do think inflation has absolutely skyrocketed, and that's because there's a bad usage of money that the government is using. It is. Inflation is generally what it is. And then second is, obviously, I don't want to say it's like an older gen or newer gen problem, right? It's the people are not taught well about investing, and certain assets that people are taught about, like, I'm not saying this is wrong. I don't think school is a wrong thing, but certain assets are more expensive than they are, and the value of it has gone down. Schooling back in the day gave you a job that you could live on. Now it gives you a job that is a normal job.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It gives you a job that is a normal job.
Your
right?
ROI is not the same.
Yeah, ROI is not. ROI back in the day, you could get a house working a full-time job and pay your whatever.
It was
a normal job.
One person household too.
Yeah,
one person working, you could afford a family.
Yeah, now
you double and you get fucked double.
And my only point to that, I'm going to pretty much clear off my point to what he said on that is, young people, we're going to have to work together with each other, right? And to stop leaving it to the government, please. Because inflation is the cost of government using your money badly. I'm just like, look at what inflation is. So I've been looking at inflation recently and studying more what causes it and what it really is. It is them distributing money that does not exist, which is an artificial tax. Because that means they deflate the money so your taxes become higher while your wages stay the same. Right? So inflation is just an overgrowth of artificial monies where you have to work harder because your money's now worthless because it was used and artificially they made it and they gave it to people who don't need it.
Do you remember when the dollar was worth $1.20 USD?
It was unreal.
No,
that was 98. It was like 98 cents or 95.
No.
There was actually one time also in history where the Canada dollar was worth more than the US.
Yeah, 2008. I was in San Francisco. I loved buying shit. It was fun. Now I can't afford shit.
Now he's depressed.
Yep,
yeah, and all I'm saying is stop believing that the government's going to fix your issues. Please go out there and learn about what systems works what, and be a good citizen and try to be like, try to encourage your citizens to also be better. That's my only thing. That's
which is why we do this podcast, and we're sharing every single goddamn detail with you, because we would be doing it regardless if you're watching or not.
Yeah. What do you think? I think as a populace, one big difference that we can make, is it a rule do we need to change? Is it a singular system?
Stop thinking anybody's going to come and solve any of your issues for you. I think the belief mindset of let's say one thing you can't control the elections, whether they go in your favor or they don't, right?
Yeah, and they're never going to spend the money where they tell you they're going to spend the money.
At the end of the day, I'll tell you one thing. If you invested $100 into learning a skill, or you invested $100 into your business, you can control that asset, but you cannot control what the government does.
Yeah.
So whether you're like looking for a job, whether you're trying to build a business, the only thing you can truly count on is what you do today is going to benefit you tomorrow. And there's never been a time in history where you try to create a successful business and you're going to fail on your own end. Economy stuff can always happen. But are you going to sit around? Am I going to sit here thinking that COVID is going to come around again next year? And so I'm going to start after COVID comes around next year? No, man.
Yeah.
You don't know whether it's going to be good or bad. But if everybody took a lot of the money out of the stock market, right now we're at all-time high again.
And I think on that end, I do want to say that next time I want to talk about just in basic gist of what money is and how it's working. And second, how to save yourself from taxes. Because here's the thing. Government, you're working for the government. If you're like working hard and you're start making a decent amount, because sooner or later everyone will be, especially when you get out of school. That's when everyone changes their mindset, being like taxes are high. Because before that, you're not working enough, so you're like, okay, taxes, I need help. But after that, you realize like how much everything's coming on to you. Government takes about 40% on average, let's say.
That was 30.
It depends on income bracket, but pretty much what he's saying is, regardless of what number you it is, because it's going to be very different compared to how much you're making. 40 is very on the high end, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. If you like sales,
once
tax,
you're over 100 or something, you're
sales
pretty
tax
much there.
in Ontario is 12%. You can imagine that.
Yeah, because they're going to take it in multiple ways. 30 is just general, and then you're probably working January to May just for them. So you want to save that money as much as possible. And when people curse the rich, they're paying 80% of your taxes. Like literally all the money that's going into the systems, 80% of that's being paid by the rich to the bottom.
I'll say one moment to there. Whether I know that we all have differing beliefs, which is good.
I only want to.
There we go. We're back.
Yeah, my point wasn't that to hate. Like you don't need to there's certain people obviously who abuse the system. But my point is become rich, so you can actually help the people.
This is just how I'm going to say it. We'll speak a lot of money next time, because I think that's a very important topic. So we'll speak about that. We'll finally have a good topic to speak about. But one thing is this. Regardless if rich people pay their taxes or they don't, how the hell is that going to benefit you? All you got to do is you got to make your own money.
Yeah, don't rely on the government is what he's saying.
You can tax the rich as much as you want, but that's not going to help your wallet. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, they're going to give it to other...
regardless of whoever they give it to. They're not giving it to you. You're not going to get a check in your bank account, say this from rich person number 2. But the main thing you want to remember is you would not lose money by investing into a vision or by investing into a goal. But you will lose money thinking about how to not make money, which is what a lot of people do. So invest money. We'll talk next time. We can talk a little bit about investing. We can actually talk about stock market. We can talk about some returns you can get on some places. But the main thing to remember from the end of this thing is, just like I was saying, nobody's going to save you. You can hate on the rich person, you can hate on the poor person, you can hate on the government, but at the end of the day, it's going to do you no business. In 5 years, you're going to stay at the same place you are. And if you want to succeed, you want to keep growing, hating is not going to get you somewhere. Think about what the hell you can do next.
What about you? Any points?
No, you hit the nail.
I will say one thing, okay? Again, same deal as always. Take your chances. Don't be afraid to fail, because the credit score or any score is made to artificially make you afraid to take those chances, and you need to take those chances to make it somewhere. Take your chances, but with taking those chances, have people you trust and be trustable yourself, because if people can't trust you, then you're obviously doing something wrong, right? If you can't be trustable, you're not going to have trustable people around you. That's just generally, and obviously don't get played by people, right? That's just general. Like Tony Robbins, you listen to all the guys who have made some. There is a part of them where they did some bad business with some bad people, and they learned their lesson. They learned their lesson, right? So You might not get lucky the first time. You might get lucky the second time. You always got to get those right people around you. And right people exist.
Right opportunity
Most
at the right time.
people want to be good people, like good citizens versus, like the citizens, right? So believe that. Be trustable yourself, and take your chances.
So we appreciate you listening, guys.
Yeah, we gotta go before our apparent secretary kicks us out again.
Exactly.
All right.
Bye-bye.